Hello my friends, this is Rob with Rob and Steve Yoga, and I just wanted to welcome you to this second session of what we are calling 30-10. So it's a 30-minute yoga practice with 10 minutes of meditation. Again, you can turn it off once we finish a mini Shavasana at the end of the practice, or you can stay for the whole thing, which I'll have you sit up for the meditation part. If you also like, you can come back to this and then just fast forward to 30 and have a 10-minute meditation practice for yourself. So today is the full moon. So of course, not every time that you do this practice, it'll be the full moon. But I just like to point out that in traditional yoga teachings, the full moon and the new moon are days where we want to be a little careful of our practice. On a full moon, many of us could feel really energized and really going, a really intense practice. But part of the teachings is that sometimes we overdo and overextend. So those are 2 days where traditionally they'd say if you might take off from your practice, or you might do something that's a little easier on yourself. So today's practice is going to be just a little bit softer, and let's go. So go ahead and bring your hands to your heart. We'll bring our centering by just taking a couple deep breaths, making this full into your body as you can. And then we'll start by joining our voices in one Om. So breathing out and in. Om. Beautiful. Go ahead and open your eyes, releasing your hands down. Just a reminder to invite yourself to breathe deep through the practice, and try to make it as part of a meditation as well as any kind of physical activity for yourself. So bring your right hand over to your left knee. We're going to take the left fingertips back behind. We're going to get nice and tall, and then we're going to twist and look back over our left shoulder. Taking it easy, just feeling the body open up in this early part of the practice. Pull the lower belly in and up as you just switching sides. So your left hand to your right knee and the right hand back behind you, sitting up nice and tall. Continuing to breathe nice and deep. Gives the body more oxygen, and it also brings in that meditative state for us as we move through the postures. And just bringing your hands out in front to where it's comfortable. Really ground the buttocks, the sit bones down into the mat as you come forward. And then on an exhalation, just come forward to a place that you can feel that opening in your lower back. Breathing deep, releasing. On the inhale, come on back up, and we're going to come onto all fours. So hands are right underneath our shoulders, and we've got everything lined up from the wrist, the elbows, and the shoulders. We've got a nice stable base here. And we're just going to do some cat-cow to get the spine all open and relaxed. And in these shorter practices, like days where maybe you even need something a little bit shorter than a 30-minute practice, just adding some of these really basic moves gets the body really opened up. Nice. So we're going to come into puppy pose. I'm going to turn forward just so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to keep the knees right underneath my hips. I'm going to extend out. I'm going to lean back, but still keeping the hips and the knees even, and I'm going to melt the heart down. So that's one view of it. Continuing to breathe deeply and really allowing your breath to be the guide for the movement and the opening up, not the ego pushing the body. Come up slightly, we'll just do some thread the needle. So bring the left hand underneath the right arm. all in an effort just to open up the shoulder. Again, finding that nice deep breath. And then switching sides. Inhale, come on back up. And then let's come on up to standing. So go ahead and inhale, take the arms up overhead. And we're gonna grab the left wrist with the right hand and crescent over. So I'm gonna really focus on keeping this, the right side down as I crescent over to the left. And then maybe I'll just take the hips out a little bit more to give myself a little bit more of a stretch on that side. Breathing deep, inhale up, always holding the lower belly in to activate the core, then switching hands. Get the stretch first and then take the hips out. Nice. Inhale, arms up, coming down and back behind your body, clasping your hands, and then roll the shoulders up, back, and down, and then start to open up by bringing the hands up off of the torso, bringing the chest open, and then exhale, release. Beautiful. We're going to take a wide stance here and feel that you're making contact with all four corners of your feet. Maybe lift the baby toe up at first and then spread it out, isometrically pulling the legs together so we feel a nice stable base in the lower body. Inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. First, we're going to do the same thing. So grab your right wrist. We're going to crescent over. Look up over that, underneath that right arm. Inhale, come back up. Switching sides, so grabbing the left wrist, crescenting over to the right, looking up. Beautiful. Inhale, exhale, release down. Inhale, arms up. This time the hands are going to come back down behind us. Interlace your hands in the opposite direction from your dominant side, just to give yourself something different. And then I'm bringing the hands up off my body and coming forward. I'm going to do a forward bend here. Options, you can bend the knees, especially if your lower back or hamstrings are tight. But otherwise, we're just going to come forward. If you feel a little awkward here, you can bring the hands down right away, or bring your hands to the hips. But we're keeping shoulders back, coming forward, releasing the head down towards the mat. Inhale, halfway up. I'm going to ask you to bring your hands down, either to the mat or block. We're going to open the feet, and we're going to just come over to one side. Now I have some vulnerability in my knees, so I'm going to be really careful with them. But we're just going to use the breath and open up the inner thighs by going back and forth. So on this one, we might go a little further by coming up on the heel. Again, if you have knee issues, you're going to just listen to your body where that might be comfortable. And some of you might be squatting all the way down towards the mat like this. Good for you. Nice. Good. Come back up to neutral. Going to bring the feet in slightly. Bring our hands up so we're like in a squat position or a wide leg skier's pose. And then we're going to bring this right shoulder over towards the left foot and just twist open. Inhale up, switching sides. So I'm going to bring this left shoulder over towards the right knee or right foot and then just twisting open. Beautiful. Straighten the feet out. We're going to come into a wide leg downward dog. So I'm going to just bring the hands down and I'm going to bring my body out as if I were in down dog, but my feet are wider. And then just coming in to that posture, releasing the head back, squeezing the shoulders onto the body. A couple nice deep breaths here. And then start to walk your hands back to center. block or no block. I'm going to use the block here just to show you what we can do. We're going to do a twist. So right hand is going to come to my right hip, and I'm going to twist in and breathing. Again, you don't need to use a block here, but it might make it easier. Exhaling down, switching over to the other side. One more deep breath on that side. And then just one more thing here in this wide leg forward bend. We're going to grab the big toes. If this isn't accessible, it can be the ankles or the shins, wherever your body is. And then we're going to start to we lift up and then come down towards the ground. Breathing nice and deep. Always bringing your awareness back to the breath. On your next inhalation, we're going to bring our hands to the hips and then come up to standing. And then come on back up. This early part of what we're doing here in the practice is a perfect thing to do for like a morning stretch yoga sequence for yourself. Inhale, take the arms up. We're going to take our right foot back behind us, like a little kickstand. So finding your balance first here, grab your right wrist with your left hand, and then see if you can pull straight up and crescent over. So we're getting a nice opening in that right side of the body, but we're also concentrating on balance here. Exhale, release, feet back to center. Left foot over first. I'm staying up on the ball of the foot, and I'm finding that sense of balance first. So I've got weight on the inside of this right foot and some weight on the left foot, which is behind me. Inhale, bring the arms up, grabbing your left wrist and coming over, crescenting over. Yeah, grabbing your left wrist and coming over towards the right. Nice. Exhale, release down. Bring both arms out. We're going to leave the left arm underneath, straight. It's going to actually be on top. We're going to bring the right arm underneath and bend. So those of you who might have some shoulder issues, this could be a stretch for you right here. Those of you who want to take it a little bit further, we're going to come into eagle arms. So just bringing the arms and then maybe bring the elbows up a bit. Find your drishti, your gaze out in front of you. Nice deep breath. And start to lower the elbows down to increase the stretch. Exhale, slowly unwind the arms, and then we're going to switch sides. So the right arm will be underneath, left arm, actually it's going to be your left arm is underneath, switching sides to find the stretch in that shoulder. And then as you're ready to, with your breath, start to lower the elbows down. A couple nice deep breaths here. Exhale, releasing. Just opening up to the side. Feel a difference in your body in just these few moments of stretching. And like I said, that in itself could be a really good morning practice, just to get your upper body open and moving. So we're going to move into a couple sun salutations. So coming to the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart and grounded down. Got a plane going overhead, hopefully you can hear me. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, fold. First forward bend really like this. So inhale, find that nice space. You might even bring your hands to your shins wherever you need. Exhale, go a little bit deeper. One more half lift up. On your exhalation, we're going to take that right leg back into high lunge. Find your breath here. This in itself is helping us to open the hip flexors. Bring your left hand to your left knee and your right hand out. It might be flat, you might be up on your fingertips. Start to twist open into an Anjaneyasana variation. Maybe bringing the left arm up, so listening to your body. Breathing in. Exhale, release down. Hands on either side of the front foot. taking the left foot back to meet the right, coming into downward facing dog. You can stay in down dog if you're doing more of a slower practice, or we might come through a vinyasa. So into plank pose, exhaling down to chaturanga or the floor, inhaling up dog or cobra, and exhaling back to downward facing dog. Take 2 or 3 nice deep breaths here. On your next inhale, we're going to bring the left foot forward this time. Finding that high lunge. So, excuse me, we should be bringing the right foot forward, your opposite foot. And then you're going to take the left hand out and find the opening on the other side. Breathing nice and deep. Enjoying the beautiful sunshine today. And then bringing your hand down, either side of that front foot. We're going to bring the back foot forward into Uttanasana or a forward bend. Inhale, that half lift wherever you're comfortable. Get a nice long spine. This is more important than how far down you can get your hands to the floor. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, come all the way back up to standing. Close the eyes. And just feel the depth of your breath for a couple moments, a couple breaths. Now we're going to go in to another sun salutation with some standing pose variations. Inhale, exhale, release the hands. Inhale, the arms up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, arms up, half body, half lift. Then on your exhalation, we're going to take the right leg back into high lunge. Turn your back foot to be flat with the back of your mat, and on your inhale, bring your left elbow to your left knee. Isometrically pulling the legs together to really find that nice solid foundation. We come as deep as we can for us today, bringing the right arm back and then up and overhead. Using the breath and your focus to let go of any tension in the body or the mind. On your next inhale, push down into your feet, pull into your lower belly. Inhale, coming up into a warrior 2 position. So looking out over those left fingertips, find your breath. On your exhale, right hand to your right thigh, left arm up. We're going to straighten the front leg. We're going to come back into a straight-legged warrior 2. And then coming over into a triangle pose. Again, it may be a really high triangle. Depending on your body, you might slide down, you might use a block. But the front leg is straight. The shoulder blades come back towards one another. We tuck the tailbone and just opening up. Breathing nice and deep here. Inhale, back up to warrior 2. Bending the front leg. Inhale, we're going to bring the back arm forward. Both hands on either side of your left foot back. Again, if you need a child's pose, come into it here. Otherwise, you can stay in downward facing dog or follow me through a vinyasa to plank pose. Exhaling chaturanga or to the floor, up dog or cobra, and then exhaling back to downward facing dog. Couple nice deep breaths as we switch sides. So in your next inhalation, you're going to bring the right leg forward this time. We're going to turn the back foot flat, bringing the right elbow to the right knee. So I have my back to you on purpose, just so you can see the pose from this direction. The right arm back behind you, and then up and over. Left arm back, up and over. Breathing nice and deep. On your next inhale, we're gonna come up to warrior two. The front leg is nice and sturdy, but that knee is coming right out over the second and third toe. Exhaling your back hand, so your left hand comes down to your left thigh, right arm up to the sky. Again, find your breath, make sure it's nice and deep. Back to warrior two with the straight leg and finding that triangle pose for yourself. You feel where it's best for you. And once you've found the pose, breathe into it. Inhaling, back up, finding warrior two. Couple nice deep breaths here. On your exhalation, we're going to bring the back arms to the left arm forward. Both hands on either side of that right foot. Push back into downward facing dog. And we're going to come into a child's pose. Bringing the toes together, the knees out wide. Find a place of comfort for your body to be able to relax into this pose for a nice couple breaths. With each exhalation, allowing your body to relax a little more. In our practice, we build the heat called the tapas, and then we let go. That continual spiral and dance of the body. Building, letting go, just like our life. Beautiful. Come on up to all fours. And we're going to bring the right leg forward into a low lunge. So those of you who might need a little padding underneath your knee can get a blanket, or you can just roll your mat. And we're going to get a little stretch here on the front hip flexor. So I'm going to bring this front knee forward. If you want a little bit more, you can flatten the back foot out. So pull into the center to find your balance here, and then coming forward to open the quad and hip flexor on your left side. Couple nice deep breaths. Turn the toes under on your back foot, and now we're going to start to straighten that right foot coming into a runner stretch. So I'm bringing the right toes back towards me, and then finding that place of comfort to bring the heart forward towards the knee. I'm playing around with a little sweat bead here. Beautiful. Inhale, come on back up. And we're going to switch sides. So just come down to all fours and then bring your left foot forward. We're going to get the quad stretch and the hip flexors first. So coming forward to where it's really comfortable, you can stay up on the toes for balance or start to flatten them out. Come on. And then exhale, we're going to reverse it. So now turn your toes under on purpose. Bring the left toes, so you're back onto the back toes. You're going to bring the left toes towards you for the runner stretch. For some of us, this is really intense. We might be up really high. That's fine. As you come down, you keep the toes coming towards you, and you're going to feel the stretch in the belly of that hamstring on your left leg. Good. Inhale, come back up, and we're going to come onto all fours. I am a magnet for these sweaties, so if you hear me yelp here in a minute, it means you got me. So, keeping with what I said earlier about the full moon and making this a little bit of an easier practice, I want to open up the front of the body, but we really want to listen to ourselves, okay? So we're going to do a variation of a camel's pose, but really it doesn't matter how far the back bend is. What we want to do is lift the chest and open the pectoral muscles, okay? So a full camel, we're going to have our hands on both heels lifting up. What I'd like to suggest we do today on this full moon or lighter practice is bring your thumbs to the base of your hips, the top of your buttocks, and really push down on those muscles, tuck your tailbone, and then just lifting the sternum up. So we're not so much concerned with the back bend, especially in the lower back, we want to keep it clear, but lifting up towards the sky. Breathing nice and deep. Pull the lower belly in and up. So we're really using that core. Inhale, come back up. Some of you might need a little downtime, that's fine. And then just take a couple breaths here. I'm gonna turn towards the front of my mat, or actually towards the side so you can see. And we've got just a few more minutes in this practice. We're gonna take the right leg out, coming into a gate pose. So arms are out. Here's a great place to use a block to bring the hand over and then up and twist. It can be down, or it can be all the way onto the ground. What's best for you right now today in this opening? Some of us are gonna just stay right here. Some others, we're gonna this would probably be the strenuous part of the practice. Bring your hand down, maybe bring your under leg, the bottom leg under. So we're coming into a Vasisthasana. This might be a lot, so you can always bring your foot forward or staying in gate pose. Take a nice deep breath. And exhale, come on down out of Vasisthasana. Come back onto your knees and we're gonna switch sides. So we'll bring the right leg out, coming down onto the left and coming up. Breathing nice and deep. Again, you're welcome to stay here or coming into the full expression of the pose. Lifting the hips, turning open. The other variation is a kickstand. And then exhale, come on down. My sweaty friend is really determined today. Okay. So I'm gonna ask you to go ahead and lay back on your backs. We're gonna bring the left leg out, right leg up, and then we're just gonna lift. So the foot's gonna be flat. I'm just gonna bring my chest up towards the knee. My arms down, and I'm gonna do a nice little stretch here with this leg over. So my right leg is over the left side of my body. And then inhaling up, we're gonna switch sides. So bringing the right leg up and lifting. Hands down to either side. The left leg is gonna go over the right side and a nice twist for the hips. Breathing nice and deep. Inhale, coming up and coming into a short Shavasana to take us into our meditation. So feet open, hands out. Allow your eyes to close for a few minutes in this relaxation pose. As much as possible on each exhalation, allow your body to relax more and more into the mat. Being grateful for what your body can do today. Start to take a nice deep breath. Start to move your fingers and your toes. And then in your own time, just bringing yourself up to center, onto your mat, into a seated position. And this would be the time where you can finish your practice for today, for the asana, and we would say namaste. Or feel free to stay for our 10-minute meditation. I'm going to set my timer so you don't have to think about it. And we're going to come into our seated position. Whatever's comfortable. You need to sit in a chair. But the focus is grounded through the lower body and a nice upright position. For those of you sitting in a chair, maybe put a pillow so you can kind of push the chest forward and the shoulder blades come together. If you're sitting on the floor, bringing your hands into meditation formation for yourself, or it might be in your lap, or it might be hands up or down on your thigh. But wherever you might be, just taking a couple nice deep breaths. Allowing your breath to be deeper than your normal breath. And focusing on the sound of the bowl for a couple rungs of it. Just allow yourself to resonate with the sound. Staying with the rhythm of your deep breath, inhaling and feeling the inhale through the nose, down into the heart. As you start to exhale, imagine that you can feel the reverse of the breath coming up from the heart and out through the nose. So imagining that path of the breath in and down, and then reversing up and out. Bringing your focus into a deep sense of letting go. Letting go of everything that might be occupying your mind at this time. And giving yourself that sense of being able to rejuvenate through this deep let go by concentrating on the path of the breath. Adding to that, especially if the mind seems busy, just the words in with the inhalation and out through the exhale. Just a long in and out. check in with yourself to see if there's a thought train that you may have gotten caught on. With no judgment, just bring yourself back to the breath. The inhaling down to the heart, and the exhaling with the word out, up and back through the nostrils. Reminding you to deepen the breath more than your normal breath would be. And although our posture is upright and we have attention to it, we're also deeply letting go on the inside, coming to a softness. Keeping that same focus on the deep inhale and the exhale, I'm going to ask you to just bring your left hand to with your sternum or the upper chest. The right hand just resting down onto the legs or onto your thigh. And on your inhalation, see if you can feel the chest rise, even if it's slightly. And as you start to exhale, feel it also deflate and the hand moves downward. Continuing to bring your breath back to that deep inhale and the lift in the chest. And exhale, allowing the chest to descend and feeling the hands movement. All giving you something else to focus on without moving into thought. With our deep breath, we are inviting that sense of our deeper self, the witness or the seer, to become more a part of our daily life. We invite it to help us through our intuition, to help us to decrease fear or anxiety by knowing that we are always taken care of. We're fine. Allowing your hands now to come down to both knees. Eyes still softly closed. allowing yourself to have a sense of gratitude for what your body was able to do today. And no matter where your mind may have been, busy or not, just having gratitude for your consciousness, for your life, and for your deep, deep capacity to love yourself and all beings. No effort on the spiritual path is ever wasted. Your practices today are helping your own evolution and growth, as well as raising the vibration of the planet. Believe it. Bring your hands in front of your heart. We'll do one sweet Om to close. So breathing out and in. Take a nice deep inhale. Thank you for joining us, me and the Sweat Bee, in our full moon practice. Much peace and love to all of you. And remember that love always wins. Namaste, my friends.